Hi, welcome to Normski TV, back again to do another bit of a daily transfer concerning Arsenal and what's going on in the old Arsenal news. And firstly, let's look at there's the talk about the swap deal between Aubameyang and Icardi. Well, it seems like that may not happen. I know it's rumours at the end of the day, but it seems as if that once Icardi finishes his loan spell at PSG, it seems as if the club, his parent club, don't really want him back because there's been talk of him being a problem player there, and he hasn't really seen eye to eye with the club or the fans. And it's looking like PSG want to keep him. So that would probably scupper any sort of deal when it comes to us trying to do a swap deal between Aubameyang and Icardi. So for me, that's great news. It's really good news that if that is the case, because in all honesty, even though he's a good player, he scored 20 plus goals for PSG, I just think he'd be too much of a problem player. And my thing is we need to keep Aubameyang. So it's looking like if they do pull it off, he could end up staying at PSG and then buying him. I don't know for what price it's going to be, but it doesn't look like he wants to stay at Inter Milan. It seems like PSG will seem to be his preferred club, and PSG like him. So we'll see what happens there concerning that. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any kind of swap deal going there, which is good for Arsenal. But we're still waiting. Still haven't heard any news on any progression in terms of Aubameyang and his contract. We don't know what's going on there. It's very, very much quiet at the moment on the home front. So it's a waiting game. But, you know, the longer we leave it, you know, the more chance that Arsenal will probably look to try and offload him, because, you know, we're coming up to June where his contract would have run down into the last year, and he can start talking to other clubs come January. And it's just not ideal for us at the moment. It really is not ideal for us. I'm just hoping that Arsenal can do some sort of deal and get him to sign a contract. 300,000, as I said, give it to him. There's some news with regards to us. You know, I suppose when you look at the situation now with this global pandemic, and a lot of football leagues have cancelled their leagues, and in the Dutch league, the final chief came out, Marco Kovermans, and said that it looks like the players that they have would possibly have to be sold at a cut price deal because of the money that they are losing in their game. And it would seem like a lot of European clubs would be lining up, especially for their talented players. And we're talking about one such player as Okon Koku, if I pronounced that right. We have been linked with him as a 21-year-old midfielder. Very good. There was talk of him possibly, you know, if he was to come to the Arsenal, you know, would he be the one to maybe take the place of Ozil? You know, he's started 21 games with Feyenoord, and there was talk that he's not looking to sign or extend his deal at Feyenoord, and so it means that they could lose him, but they won't be able to get the sort of price that they want for him, because obviously with the market as it is, you know, a lot of teams now are going to be coming in and negotiating and trying to negotiate for a much lower price. Just going on, it says the midfielder has already turned down an offer of a new contract with this current club, and his club are now believed to be resigned to his exit. While the situation around the world at present is confirmed to have an impact on his asking price. He goes on to say that Koverman said they offer 7 million euros in the winter January 2021. You take it, then it's tricky. And he goes and say it's tricky. What will Ajax get for Donny van de Beek these days? The same amount as 6 months ago? I do not know. So there's a lot of questions concerning the price of the players and what you know, they will be going for. But I can tell you that they will be a lot cheaper than before we had this serious pandemic. We are linked with him. Whether we will get him or not, I don't know. Is he the sort of player that we need right now? You know, there's more important players to be thinking about in terms of the position, in terms of a defensive midfielder, a defender. And yes, you know, an attacking midfielder. Would he cut it in the Premier League? You know, Ozil, I'll come on to him in a minute. You know, he possibly, you know, won't be here next season. And so he may be a good player to bring in so that he could sort of come in after Ozil goes. Now, talking of Ozil, his agent has come out and said that he will play to the end of his contract, but Arsenal are not going to be offering him a new one. So if that's the case, you know, we will be saving ourselves a lot of money, £350,000 a week, which could probably get us 3 good players or 2 very, very good players. You know, he's on 350,000. That's a lot of money. He's not really contributing to the club in terms of what he's doing on the pitch, and I think we're just wasting so much money on his wages. I don't know how he's got away with it, but you know, we're paying him that money, 350 grand a week, and I think Arsenal need to really look at when it comes to negotiating players' contracts, especially letting them run it down to their last year and then they hold the cards. We should not be in this situation, and it's going to be the same for Aubameyang as well. You know. But the thing is, for Aubameyang, I think he's worth the 300,000 plus because he's scoring the goals for us. He's our talisman, he's our captain, and he's doing the bee's knees on the pitch. So I don't mind, you know, us, you know, taking that big chunk of money that we're giving to Ozil and you know, offloading it on to Aubameyang. Thomas Partey, I'm hoping that he can make the move to Arsenal. Some guy of the name of New, I don't know who it is, I'm just going to read it. It just says Thomas Partey could make a move to Arsenal as the Premier League is the best in the world. Ghana teammate, Kasim Nuhu has stated, because Kasim Nuhu, it looks like he's the defender, said the midfielder's international colleague believes there is little difference between the statue of Atletico and the Gunners, and therefore a move to London would represent a step up in swapping La Liga for the English top flight. Bundesliga defender Nuhu told TV3 Atletico Madrid is a very good club, so he's playing one of the biggest clubs in the world, and Arsenal is also one of the biggest clubs. For me, it is a decision because playing for Atletico Madrid is the same as playing for Arsenal. The two teams always make the same category in the league, fighting for the 3rd and 4th place to play in Champions League. But as we all know, the Premier League is the best league in the world. So if he joins Arsenal, I will be happy for him. And I think a load of Ghanaians would be definitely happy if he did join Arsenal. And, you know, he's come out, his father's come out, he's come out, you know, and said that, you know, he would love a move to Arsenal. In terms of our position, yeah, we're in 9th place at the moment. And I would say, yeah, I mean, we are, at the moment, we're not as good as Atletico, not going to lie. But, you know, the La Liga is a lot easier than the Premier League. But I think having Thomas Partey come to the party, I think he would definitely do well for Arsenal. He would make us really strong. I think he's built for the Premier League. He's a strong player, very tenacious in the tackle, good pass with the ball, box to box, but can play in an attacking role as well as in a defensive role. And I think, you know, he will do an absolutely fantastic job for Arsenal. And I'm just hoping that when the old transfer window does open, because at the moment it's all rumours, it's all conjecture, but when it does open, I'm hoping that, you know, Arsenal will be his first choice. He has a 43.5 million buyout clause. I know Atletico are trying to seal him down to I think it's an additional 3 or 4 years on his contract, double his wages, and then also increase his buyout clause to 91 million. But it looks as if, and if it's true and it's coming out of Thomas Partey's camp, that he doesn't want to stay at Atletico and he would like a move to the Premier League, that being the club Arsenal. So let's hope that happens. I'm hoping it will happen. You just don't know. You just don't know at the moment. But as I say, at the moment it's just all rumours. We're linked with so many players, but it's just about us pulling it off. The other thing as well, just want to finish off with is, and this is just about the whole thing of the Premier League looking to resume back in June, and it's going to be a phased return. And it's funny because I was reading I think it was in One Football, and I think the Italian health minister or the sports minister said that if anybody tests positive in the Italian league, then that's it. They're stopping all games. That's it. Season will be done. Now, will the Premier League look at that? I mean, there's a massive chance that could happen. You've already got 3 players already that's tested positive in Brighton with Brighton. It seems like nothing's been said about that at the moment. I heard of another player, I can't remember which league it is also tested positive. So at the moment, it's not safe. I still don't think it's safe. There's a lot of players, coming out and saying that, why are we starting this back again? What's it all about? You had Danny Rose coming out with some expletives about it. Why are they starting the Premier League? Lives matter here. Aguero's got concerns. Sterling's got concerns. And I'm sure there's many other players that have got a lot of concerns. But it just seems as if the Premier League wants to forge forward and get the games going on behind closed doors. So if, for whatever reason, the Premier League does go ahead, and then say I brought this up in a podcast that I did a couple of days back, and I did say that if one player is tested with the COVID, what happens to the other 21 players on the pitch? Do they now go into isolation? It's crazy right now, and I just think that I don't see how you can progress, because that means you're going to have a setback in terms of you've got players now isolating for 14 days. How is that all going to work? Will the Premier League follow suit and look at what's going on in the Serie A league? And also they're going to be looking at the Bundesliga as well. What's going to happen there? So there's a lot of things happening. And I think when I was just going back to the Brighton, the 3 players that have tested positive, from what I understand is that the rest of the team now have gone into isolation with some of the backroom staff. I don't know how this is all going to work. Boris Johnson now is obviously starting to lift restrictions, and today I was out and about working, and it was a lot more people out on the roads, more than normal. And they keep talking about this R1, which is basically the infectious rate. If it goes to 1 or above, they may have to look at locking down certain places again. So there's a lot of questions, and we need straight, clear answers in terms of what's going to be happening with football in this country. Listen, please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.